Do you hear that sound? That is the sound of something returning to PHS. Press play, the video game podcast brought to you by PHSN News. We will be discussing all things in the video game world, from classic games to upcoming releases. Are you ready? Then press play.
Welcome back to Press Play. We're going to be talking about Star Wars. Hey. So I guess we should get started. We're going to be ranking some games first, I guess. So how would you rank the game Force Unleashed?
Ooh, Force Unleashed. I played it a little bit on the Wii. The story was interesting. You basically become Darth Vader's apprentice for the game, but
yeah,
ultimately I would have to give it a solid 6 out of 10. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't overly good. So,
if I'm being completely honest, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10.
You think it's just...
It was okay, but not my favorite.
Okay.
I don't know, as a kid, I liked it a lot. I don't know, so it's kind of...
The Force Lightning.
Yeah.
That was the cool part about it.
Yeah.
In my mind, I like it a lot more than it probably was, so I'd give it like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And what about Old Republic?
Now that one, the open MMO game that has been going on for years and still has a pretty good community. I've played that a lot more. That would probably be closer to 8 out of 10. The only downside is the graphics are really dated.
Yeah.
But
well, that's understandable since it's an older game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's basically a choose your own story.
Yeah.
So it's
Like
really
most
great.
open world MMO are.
Yeah.
Have
Have you played
anything?
or?
Yeah, I haven't really played it much, but I've heard very good things, so I'm going to give it at least a 7 out of 10.
We'll give it a 6.5.
It's a good way to get into a little bit of role play.
Yeah.
But
And what about, I think I pronounced this Squadrons? I think I probably
Ooh.
pronounced it wrong.
the controls are very hard, but and the load times are very long to get into an actual match. So I would honestly say it's probably a 4 out of 10, in my opinion.
Not very good.
It's not good. You don't really get to see too much of the game, really, because you're looking through the cockpit of a spaceship,
Oh.
basically.
Yeah.
And so your view's limited, and you really have to have the controls down to have a good, like, flight in game.
I was gonna say it's a challenging game, but I feel like once you get a hold of everything, it can be really fun. Because like I've played it before, and in my opinion, the controls aren't necessarily too hard. But it's only because I've played a lot of aerial combat games.
Are you on keyboard and mouse or controller?
Controller, obviously.
Oh, that's
I was like, controller is probably the easier option.
definitely.
I was saying that, yeah.
But
But I have played on keyboard and mouse.
I don't know, I haven't really played it, but I heard there's not too much content in it, maybe. So when it came out, I think it was out like when Battlefront 2 was still big.
around that time, yeah.
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit after, around there.
Yeah, but I heard it wasn't worth the buy, maybe. So I didn't buy it.
I got mine for free off of Epic Games when
Oh, yeah.
they were running their promotion. So.
Yeah.
But
What do you think about Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga?
ooh, so they remastered Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga to add in 7, 8, 9, and the graphics look way better. It's so much smoother, but the movies don't really make the Star Wars or the game feel that good.
Yeah.
That, like, the movies are what it's based off of, and the movies weren't overly good, in my opinion.
it could have been better in my opinion. I was gonna say I'll give it only because it brings back memories a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. I would say 5.5 out of 10 on that one.
Understandable.
No, I'm definitely giving it a 7 out of 10 on that one because it's kind of a legendary one, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say it brings back memories.
If it was the original one, it would obviously be higher for me, but
Yeah.
it's the Skywalker one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
What about Fallen Order?
ooh, now that one is interesting. It's getting a sequel, which I'm kind of looking forward to it. But
Jedi Survivor.
yeah,
Yes.
that's the sequel one. I think that they had a really good initial start with someone that's like it's Star Wars, but it's not like mainline story Star
Yeah.
Wars, which
Yeah.
I think they handled that very well. They didn't do anything that really breaks the continuity of Star Wars as a whole, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And they also introduced a cool character, BD1.
Yeah, they did. I've played it before. I haven't played through the whole game, but I love the mechanics and everything. And if I'm being completely honest, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10.
It is, I would say 9 out of 10, yeah.
Yeah, that's just, it's pretty high up there.
Yeah, it's probably up there for me. Like, I'd say 8 only because there's not too much, in my opinion, replayability to it. There's not too much.
Right.
The boss fights were really fun, and like all
Oh,
the
yeah.
story, the searching, you know,
Mhm.
is all pretty fun. So like 8,
And-
maybe I'm lowing it a little bit.
Which is respectable.
I think it's a good rating for it.
Yeah.
But
So it's time for Game Informer rankings.
Oh.
okay.
Jedi Fallen Order.
So that was number 1, right? Or
Yeah, it says number 1. Yeah.
and then number 2 was
Oh, yeah. Number 2 was Star Wars Force Unleashed. Number 3 was Star
Okay.
Wars Squadron. Number 4 was Star Wars Old Republic. And number 5 was the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
So I think that kind of matches up with what we said.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
that
I
matches
think
up.
Squadron's a little higher than we said, probably.
maybe. But
Yeah, pretty close.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was fairly close.
So there's some upcoming Star Wars games. The
Jedi Survivor, like we said, and then Ubisoft is coming out
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a new open world Star Wars game, which there's been a few details shared, not a whole lot.
Just like kind of like a build your own story kind of.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting. But a big thing that I think the community, Star Wars fans and everything, is a lot of people are going to want to play like the main story. Like they want to be living the Star Wars.
Yeah.
So creating their own story is going to be a bit hard for them in some ways, but if it's something like Minecraft where you can kind of build your own like
Everything.
Star Wars story
Yeah.
and like world
If
basically.
I'm being completely honest, if they build it how I think they're gonna build it, I wouldn't mind having like a bounty hunter story,
Yeah,
like
that would
making
be
my
cool.
own bounty hunter story, just kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like how Mandalorian did it. Just kind of like stuff kind of has just happened.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways that they can take the game in multiple directions and it would be pretty good.
Yeah.
could be fun.
That could definitely be cool. Like, kind of like choose what kind of character you want to be at the beginning, and you kind of like Skyrim. You know, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, Skyrim.
Yeah. And they also are trying to implement it so that there's no like load times. So if you're jumping from one star system to another, it's just a full on trip.
So
basically.
just like Destiny, how Destiny did it, they kind of just
Yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna say I like that. I like that.
It will definitely be something to keep on the horizon and
Oh, definitely.
like pay attention to.
And there's Jedi Survivor.
That's the follow-up of Fallen Order, which the graphics already look good, and they're kind of continuing the story of Fallen Order, where he's trying to kind of rebuild a Jedi Order, basically.
Yeah.
I don't remember too much, but didn't the end of Fallen Order, wasn't it kind of a cliffhanger of sort?
I do believe so.
Yeah, so should be pretty interesting. I don't know.
So is what game would you like to see?
What kind of Star Wars game? I think that if they redid the Battlefront games,
The original.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
We're good.
Good.
Yeah.
Are you calling the cops or something?
No. Anyways, but yeah, if they redid something like the Battlefront, where you can kind of like customize your clones or something, kind of like Clone Commanders, or
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
where you were in charge of the Delta Squad.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I was gonna say one thing about Battlefront 2 I liked is kind of like, in my opinion, it kind of based it off like the campaign from the original Battlefronts.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about it. Just it didn't involve the Jedi's, I guess. It was just like all clone troopers and all droids and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about it.
Very good. Yeah. Although I don't want it to be like another Battlefront,
Yeah,
because we have Battlefront already.
which is respectable. It's a respectable decision.
So now it's time for the final token. So what year did the first Star Wars movie come out?
1978?
1977,
77?
the year
Yeah,
before.
77. Okay. I knew it was within that range.
Yeah, I was
Was
gonna
it?
say we were pretty close.
Wasn't sure
I
exactly.
was gonna say it was 1977, The New Hope, or A New Hope.
A New Hope, yes.
Yeah.
Which definitely, the story behind it is like great.
Yeah.
Like
And
the
no, it was
creation
not
and
based off a book that was very similar that came out beforehand.
That is true. But yeah, I think that's pretty much a good wrap.
Yeah.
Concludes.
Concludes
Yep.
this episode.